I know you're Swedish, I know you're Ethiopian, but from what I'm looking at, it looks like you have an Italian grandmother as well.
Meatballs, they did not come from Italy, they came from Sweden. These are not IKEA meatballs, these are our street bird meatballs. And our street bird meatballs are made with chicken and pork. So I'm gonna cook up the meatballs, serve them in a nice red sauce. I call them Uncle T's red sauce. And then I'm gonna serve them with some toasted bread, and we're just gonna like chow down, and whoever gets the most meatballs wins. The key to this is really just like the meatballs are done with both pork and chicken, right?
What's the mix there?
You just need about, you can do it 50-50.
50-50.
Because the meats are so different. So the secret with meatballs, you want to get some fat in there.
Yeah.
If you don't get fat in the meatballs, they get very bouncy and dry.
Yeah.
And that's no good meatballs. So look at this. They're just gonna simmer down.
Okay. And what do you have in this sauce here?
Ooh. So in the sauce, you have tomato, you have garlic, you have chilies, but you also have a little bit of sausage, you know, because I want it to be chunky. It's not a sauce, it's really a gravy, a stew.
Where would you say the influence of the sauce is, though? That seems
It's really, I grew up with traditional Swedish meatballs, and they were pork and beef based with a gravy that is made with cream. So this is more like, Italian American influence, but just delicious. You just want to eat with your hand. I love food that you can eat with your hand, right? So we're just going to toast up this bread, give it a little bit of color. It's a great opportunity to throw in some garlic, to throw in some heat.
Because it'll kind of get, just throw like a smashed clove in there?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
And then it'll just kind of get into that butter and get into the bread?
Exactly. But we also have to have a little bit of cheese in there, right? So I have a little bit of cottage cheese and mascarpone mixed together.
Did you kind of whip the cottage cheese to break the curd down?
You whip, exactly. So, I use like a chili sauce, could be a sriracha within here, so you get a little bit of heat.
You've got Red Rooster here in Harlem. You've opened Street Bird here down in Harlem. What do you think is happening with the Harlem food scene?
Harlem's food scene is booming. It's absolutely fantastic. We're just about to start Harlem Meetup, our own food festival that you should come up to. It's a lot of fun. It'll be some of the best chefs in the country. Guys like Sean Brock, Paul Quee, Jonathan Waxman, gonna cook with Harlem legends. So it's really the best of what Harlem has to offer with the best of what the country has to offer in terms of food talent. It's such a good time to be a chef in Harlem right now, and Harlem has an enormous amount of mom and pop and soul food restaurant. You think about Rayo's, one of the most iconic New York Italian American restaurants. It's right here in Harlem. You think about Dinosaur Barbecue, it's right here in Harlem. Gin Ramen has an outpost here in Harlem. So there's some traditional stuff like Melba's and Charles Pan Fried Chicken and Sylvia's, of course. But there's also some other stuff, and that combined makes it a very exciting food scene. So it's the diversity of the restaurant scene right now in Harlem that really gave the confidence to me and my partner Herb to say, let's do a food festival.
When people think of Harlem, they think of soul food. When you were coming up here, you weren't necessarily thinking like, I'm gonna do soul food or I'm gonna try to do that. But when you look at a dish like this, it's not Southern soul food, but it's comfort food still.
Yes. Modern American food today is about being delicious and value, right?
Yeah.
So if you cook it with soul, if you cook it with authenticity, the customer's gonna respond. And when you eat something like this, there's a relatability, but there's also a factor of, whoa, I haven't tried this before. So when you find that sweet spot between relatability, but also something new, that's when you have a good dish. And this, to me, smells and looks good.
We're getting in here with our fingers?
Of course.
Okay, just dunk it in there.
Yeah.
Wow, got that little bit of spice to it.
But not a lot.
Whoops, I dropped my meatball.
That's all right. Just the energy of eating together, having a good time. I love it. Eating and talking, you still need to practice on that.
Yeah, exactly. How did you get involved in this project?
The executive producer that was casting for it was having a hard time finding a chef, and so I was interested. Basically, I Skyped with her, and a month later, I was in Israel.
What's the mission of Breaking Borders?
We go to countries that have experienced conflict.